friends. Welcome to Sky House Herbs podcast. I'm Ashley Ellenboss, a clinical herbalist, and in this space, I share my knowledge and experience with plant medicine to help you on your own journey of healing and transformation. Join me in exploring the ancient wisdom of plant spirit medicine and how it can be used to heal the body, mind, and spirit. We'll talk to experts in the field and share stories from people who've been transformed by powerful plant allies. New episodes are released each Monday, so please subscribe. And now, let's explore this mystical world of plant medicine together. Hey Herbies, welcome in. I've got some things to share with you today. And I'm excited to talk a little bit about preparing for the holidays because it is November and the holidays are not far off. And I thought we could take a minute to talk about some ways we can prep ourselves for the holiday season and also some really cool, easy gift ideas that you might be able to share with your family, maybe make at home with your kids. These are tried and true gifts that I think you're going to love. Before we go into today's content, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please take a second, click the subscribe button, click on receive notifications and go to all notifications. Give it a thumbs up or a like if you find it to be helpful. Okay. When thinking about preparing for the holidays, there are probably a lot of things going on in your mind. And depending on sort of how involved you are in the holiday season, you might have a pretty clear plate, or you might have a very full plate. And I think these suggestions will be supportive for you regardless of the category that you fall into. Let's start with holiday prep ideas that are specific for you as the person making the gifts, giving the gifts, being the gift, and all of the things that are potentially very draining for us this time of year. I want to give you 2 tips for things you can do starting today that will help you stay well, healthy, nourished, and supported. The first tip comes from traditional Chinese medicine. And I remember learning about this one when I was in herb school. And this has to do with how do we protect our body from the elements and particularly from cold. And so one thing that I suggest we all start doing is protecting these 3 areas of the body. And there was this beautiful post that I shared with my students from an acupuncturist who was talking about ways that her grandmother would prepare for winter. And the first thing that she said her grandmother would do is that her grandmother would fiercely protect 3 areas of her body from the cold and from wind. The reason for this is in the Chinese system of medicine, wind was thought to be a force that could enter into the body and could create stiffness, that could create headaches, and also could create disease, and specifically colds and flus and colds that linger, that your body has a hard time clearing. And therefore, her grandmother would fiercely protect these 3 areas of the body. The first area is the neck. And I remember my herb teachers saying that in Chinese medicine, they believed, they called them wind dragons, could enter in through the back of the neck and give us chills, and it would reduce our vitality and make us more susceptible to sickness. So number 1 area we want to protect is the neck by wearing scarves, I like to wear shirts with collars. And so you don't want to wear those scoop-necked dresses or scoop-necked sweaters or shirts that expose your upper back and neck. That is a big no-no. And when you go outside, always wear a coat that covers the neck or wear a scarf. The second area to protect is your lower back and your waist. And this is because this is the area where the kidneys live. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys were seen as the storehouse of our vital essence or our jing. And if the kidneys or the low back are exposed to cold or to wind, it will deeply and instantly drain your vital force. And that can make every other area of your body more susceptible to illness. And so what this grandmother would do is she would wear an extra layer of clothes and always tuck her shirts in, and maybe even use an extra scarf to wrap around her waist. And in style today, sometimes people wear these midriff shirts where their waist and their low back is exposed. And while that might be cool and fashionable in the summer time when the weather is warm, this is an absolute no in the fall and in the winter. So make sure your lower back is warm and protected from the cold. The third part of the body that needs protection are the feet. And the feet, we know this from reflexology. There's like 72,000 nerve endings that all meet in the bottom of the foot. And so the foot is our foundation of our health. It's the foundation of our body. And the feet can be very susceptible to cold. And this coldness can then travel up the body and create illness. So wearing wool socks, wearing slippers, we should never be walking around on wood floor or ceramic floor with bare feet in the winter. That is a big no-no. So pull out your thick socks, pull out your slippers right now, and make sure your feet are warm. And another tip that this acupuncturist gave is to do hot foot baths before bed and just take a tub or a bowl, fill it with hot water. I would recommend adding some herbs in that are warming, like some rosemary, sage, some holy basil, maybe even some ginger slices. Put that into the foot bath and then let your feet soak in that before you get into bed. And this will really help to build your vital force and the heat in your body so that you can remain strong and vital throughout the winter months. The second tip that we can be doing right now to prepare for the holidays and winter is to start eating soup. And I mean, like it's your job. And there's a few reasons for this. Number one, if we use a bone broth base or a mushroom broth base, that is going to be very deeply nutrient rich to keep our body and system strong. The temperature warm is also very good for us this time of year to increase circulation, to help with sluggish digestion, which can happen this time of year. And we want to be adding in root vegetables. This should be the main ingredient in your long simmering soups is root vegetables like sweet potatoes, turnips, carrots. I really like parsnips, and add these into your soup. And the reason for root vegetables is that they have been underground, absorbing the vital energy throughout the fullness of the year. And when we harvest them and we take them into our bodies receive this energy of a year-long storage process. And in most traditional systems, winter is seen as a time of resting and regenerating our vital force for the year ahead. And if we can take this seriously by staying warm, eating warm foods, and giving ourselves lots of deep, vital earth nutrition, then we will be able to sustain our energy not only through maybe a busy holiday season, but also for the rest of the year. Next up, let's talk about gift and gift prep. The first thing we need to do is think about, and we should start thinking about this now, what are we going to give as a gift? And one of my hacks is to think about what is something that you can give everyone. What is a universal gift so that you don't have to think about, what my mother-in-law versus father-in-law versus sister, aunt, uncle. Just think of one thing that you can make that you can give to everyone. And I want to share with you some ideas from an herbalist perspective because, hey, I'm guessing you're watching this because maybe you also grow herbs, you love herbs, or maybe you just want to think about ways of using herbs and introducing them to your family. And I have 3 ideas for you, and these are tried and true. The first gift that pretty much everyone loves is an herbal tea. And I don't know if you're like me, but I have got herbs, like bags and bags of herbs, dried herbs just sitting around, and they're beautiful and I want to use them. I don't want them to go to waste. So one thing you can do is you can blend an herbal tea, a big batch of it, and then put it in jars and give these as gifts. Here's an example of a beautiful tea that I've blended using black tea and rose and some lavender and oat straw. And you can just use, I have this is sort of old packing thread or string. And I think you can buy this on Amazon and at a lot of craft stores. You can just look up packing string. And so this makes a really nice decorative ribbon for gift giving. And if you make a tea blend that is pretty universally applicable to most people, you can also make your own little labels. And this just one says made with love for you. And then you could on the top make a sticker. I think that's what I'm going to do this year. is make a sticker and print out the ingredients and the brewing instructions. And voila, you have in probably one afternoon, if you have the dried herbs, you can just lay everything out, make them, and then send these as a nice herbal gift. And if you don't have your own herbs, let's say you just don't grow your own, you can also use a reputable herb source like Mountain Rose Herbs, Oshala Organic Farm, and order bulk herbs and then blend something yourself. The second herbal gift idea that I really like that's pretty easy to do is to create little, I kind of think of them as kind of sacred protector jars, and you can have different themes for different people. This is where you might want to get a little creative. So, for example, I recently made a gift jar for a woman who is about to have a baby. And so I used protector herbs. She could have maybe this when she's giving birth. She could have this on her nightstand because she's giving birth at home. And I included herbs like rue and St. John's wort and lavender from my garden and from my mother and my grandmother's garden. But you don't have to, it doesn't have to be that specific. You could also just take, for example, some blue vervain flowers. Here I have Monarda fistulosa flowers. You could do it more by color and think about maybe their spiritual uses, their magical uses, or just their energetic uses. And then you can put them into a little jar like this, and it looks really pretty. Let me make one for you. So here I am using some rue from my grandmother's garden, and rue is a beautiful aromatic herb that is a protector. It's used in Sicilian, Italian, and even Lithuanian in the Baltic traditions, and even in Mexico as an herb that protects against the evil eye, against jealousy, and also just against people kind of sending you bad vibes. So rue is a really nice one for that. It's also one that is supposed to give clarity of vision. Next, I'm going to use some Monarda fistulosa, dried from my garden. It has these little pinkish purple flowers on it, and a little bit of fennel seed, and some bright purple flowering tops from blue vervain. Here's the blue vervain tops. We'll add these in. And I've now added everything in, and look how pretty that is. It's just this cute, pretty little talisman jar. You can see the details of the plants in them, and you could gift these as a fairy garden or a fairy herb jar. You could use herbs that are specific for sleep for someone to place on their nightstand. It could be a herb sniffing jar for relaxation, and you could use herbs that have an aromatic smell that are very relaxing or soothing. You can get really creative with how you frame this and maybe include a little index card, but I just love these because they're beautiful and they'll last. These colors will stay bright for years to come, and then it becomes something that they can either dump and recycle or reuse this little jar. And it is just a thoughtful, simple gift. The third herbal gift idea can be done in a variety of different ways. This is making an herbal infused oil. Herbal infused oils make wonderful gifts because they can be used as a body lotion. They can be used as part of a skincare routine. The first way that I like to do this is to start prepping my herbs early, like now. And again, going around and seeing what dried herbs do I have on hand that will lend a really nice aroma and will also create a very therapeutic blend for the body and for the skin. Some of my favorite herbs that I found so far that work really well are holy basil. There's something about those aromatics that come through. It's also very warming and it's a circulatory stimulant. And in these colder, drier months, having something that brings circulation to the hands and feet is a must. This is where you can get really creative. Some other herbs that I like to use include burdock, marshmallow root, calendula is really nice as a mood lifter and lymphatic, and is really good for seasonal affective disorder and depression. I also really like cinnamon bark, which smells very good, is also very warming. Lavender works well, chamomile flowers. So you can think about maybe creating a blend that has a particular theme to it. It could be herbal body oil for sleep and rest. It could be warming and stimulating. This is where it gets fun, and you can design your own unique blend. All you need is a jar. I like to use a wide mouth half-gallon glass jar, and I fill it about halfway with herbs. Then I fill the rest of the jar with oil. I personally really like sunflower seed oil. I feel like that is the best oil for applying topically. It's also less expensive than jojoba and almond oil. And you can buy it as food grade because our skin is essentially an organ that is going to absorb this. So we want to have food grade sunflower seed oil. Once you've filled the jar with herbs and the rest of the way with oil, you can use your crock pot and fill your crock pot with water and then set this right into that water bath. Keep it on low and let it go in about 8 to 12 hour cycles. And I would do maybe 2 or 3 cooking cycles. I usually turn mine off overnight and then let it cook all day during the daytime. Overall, you want to have it in that hot water bath for 48 to 72 hours. Every once in a while, give the jar a shake with the herbs to disperse the oil through the plant material. And then, this is kind of the messy part, but it's also fun, is straining it. And I like to use a large cheesecloth bag and place it over another half-gallon mason jar. So I'm essentially just pouring it from one jar into the other using the cloth bag as my strainer. And then you're going to want to squeeze out all of that oil into the other jar. And then this jar that has the filtered oil in it, you can just start to fill into little pump bottles. Here's an example of one that I made last year from Douglas fir. And actually, this is kind of a really cool hack I'll share with you at the end. So stay tuned. You can use these pump bottles. These are really easy to use. They can seal closed and you can tie a little ribbon around it like this. Some other ideas for ways of using these oils is it could be a foot oil, just very specific warming foot balm. You can also make a hair oil using things like nettle and rosemary leaves, which are really good for stimulating hair growth. There is an endless number of herbs and options and recipes that you can use to create a beautiful gifted herbal oil. Okay, now I've got my hack for you. This is something that I started doing a few years ago and I love it. You can use your Christmas tree and the needles of your Christmas tree to make an herb infused oil. And this is something we do at the end of every holiday season before we give our tree away and have it mulched and given back to the earth. Is I will trim off the branches and then strip the leaves off and cut the branches so I can get the sap from the branches themselves. And I make a Douglas fir or spruce, depending on which tree we use, infused oil. And I cannot even tell you how amazing it is. This is my Douglas fir infused oil from last year. So we pressed this one on 225 and it's the needles. And this one is in sunflower oil. It is amazing remedy for chest congestion, for colds, for anxiety. Pine is a great medicine for anxiety and for overwhelm. And it's a great mucus thinner. And I use this on my kids' chest pretty much year round for any sort of chest congestion or colds. And I'm telling this to you now so you can start thinking about if you're going to get a live Christmas tree, that you can actually save its medicine and use it before you donate, give it away, or have it mulched. You're going to use exactly the same method as I described for making your herbal infused oil. You're going to fill the entire jar with chopped up pine needles, stems, branches, just put all of it in the jar. It's going to be sticky, but that's part of the medicine. Fill it with your oil, 72 hours in a hot water bath, strain it, and you will be so glad you did it. There is nothing better. The smell is amazing, and you get to feel like you've got part of your Christmas tree, which to me, I get kind of attached to my Christmas trees. So it's like I have the spirit of my Christmas tree with me all year long. This is the last of my Douglas fir oil. So I have this jar that is about halfway gone, and this is the last of it. So we're going to probably use this up before we harvest the next batch in January. I hope you found these tips to be helpful. Let me know in the comments section what you think. If you have any other things that help you prepare yourself for the holidays, do you have any other herbal gift ideas that you love to give? Please share those with me. I'd love to hear them. And if you liked this video, just take a minute, click the like button so I know you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Stay well, stay warm, stay nourished, and I'll see you in the next episode.